The Industrial Revolution happened from the 18th to the 19th century in Great Britain. This was due to an increase in the demand of materialistic goods. During that time, the entire continent of Africa and parts of Asia and India were under the control of the British Empire. This meant that they had access to good sources of raw materials, such as spices from India and silk from China. The British had all the means or factors of production. They then established the factory system. Textile, mining, and cotton industries quickly became some of the most important and popular industries in the system. Machines were invented with the help of modern technology to speed up the manufacturing process. Of course, a lot of manpower was also needed to help run the machines. The main aim of the factory owners and capitalists was clear: make as much as possible for as little as possible. This jump started a whole other problem, which was child labor. The working and living conditions that the working class families faced were extremely poor, and not accommodating enough for the sheer numbers. These families had to work very hard for very little.
The British pioneered the Industrial Revolution, which started because of a growth in the demand for materialistic goods. The domestic industry could not keep up with the demands, thus establishing a need for machinery and more manpower. This resulted in a shift from the domestic system to the factory system. Factories that manufactured goods such as textiles and cotton gin were established. Machines were invented to speed up the process, and a large abundance of workers were hired. The advancement and development of tools and equipment meant that it was very easy to make lots and lots of money. The British already had access to the necessary resources, which were land, labor, knowledge, and money. The entire continent of Africa and parts of Asia came to be under the control of the British. They approached these countries under the false pretenses of missionaries and trading companies, but the goal was clear: colonize and conquer the country.
Missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain. Once you've gone, it was never alone. This world, and that was when I ruled the
Child labor was very common due to the availability and easy access to workers. The children were easy to manipulate and monitor, and they consumed much less than the average adult. One must remember that the main aim of running these factories was to manufacture as many goods as possible for as little as possible. There were a lot of children in England at that time, as many working class families had no access to medical resources such as contraceptives. Factory owners then hired children as workers. These children were paid as little as 2 pence per day, and they worked as long as 12 to 16 hours every day. Children were employed as chimney sweeps. The sooty, dark conditions in the small chimneys gave them a lot of health problems like asthma, bronchitis, and growth issues. In textile factories, giant mechanical weaving looms were used to make the cloth. If there ever was any problems with the machines, such as threads that came undone or stuck, children would be sent to crawl under the small spaces under the machines and fix the problems. However, the machines weren't stopped to allow the children to fix them. As a result, children often lost limbs or got crushed under the heavy machinery. Cotton needs to be picked before being processed to make cloth, and children would be forced to stay in the same bent position all day under the hot sun, picking cotton balls. They often grew up deformed or with hunched backs. And in the coal mines, children as young as 4 were sent into the dark depths. The dusty, dark and damp conditions gave them a great many health problems such as pneumonia, eyesight problems and asthma. A lot of children were crushed in accidents involving the heavy metal wheels on the coal carts. As a conclusion, children are always used for purposes like these.
This constant noise of time. There's a possibility. There's a possibility. All that I had was all I gon' get. There's a possibility. There's a possibility. All I gon' get is gon' be yours there. All I gon' get is gon' be yours there.
Till this day, the effects of the Industrial Revolution still resonates deeply within our world today. With technology and architecture, sciences and medicine progressing at an immense pace these days, let us not forget the humble beginning of today, built up slowly and with much sacrifice by a group of poor families in Victorian England.